Next heading that we need to know, agriculture complements industrialization. Actually, we need to learn two different headings. One, agriculture complementing industrialization. The other side, industrialization complementing agriculture. Both let us discuss in detail. Here, under this heading, we have few points. Let us discuss them in detail. Very first one, supplying wage goods to industrial sector. I repeat, supplying wage goods to industrial sector. Actually, agriculture sector supplies necessary wage goods. When I say wage goods, the word wage good is totally new term for you, which means consumer goods like cereals, pulses, vegetables, etc., which are consumed by industrial workers. That means the food products which are required for industrial workers or wage earners to the industrial sector. Professor Simon Kuznets, a famous economist, called this as product contribution. Just think of agriculture supplies all the food products required, clear, for the wage earners. That is what Simon Kuznets call it as product contribution of agriculture. However, even there's a factor contribution also, clear, and we will discuss that factor contribution in the next heading. Come back to second, supplying raw materials to agro-based industries. Just now I was mentioning the previous slide. Those industries based on agriculture for raw materials. See, this is self-explanatory. What are agro-based industries? Those industries based on agriculture for raw materials. Let us call them as examples like cotton textiles, jute, sugar industry, and so on. And when agriculture supplies such what you call raw materials required for the growth of industries like tea, coffee, sugar, jute, cotton textiles, rubber products, etc., they all come from agriculture sector. Remember, inadequate supply of these raw materials. Suppose if agriculture fails to supply required raw materials for industries, remember that will lead to clear lag in the industrial sector, or let us say it means stunted growth of industrial sector. Professor Simon Kuznets called this as clear factor contribution. Remember, agriculture supplying raw materials, Kuznets calls it as factor contribution. Agriculture supplying wage goods, clear, to industrial sector, he calls it as product contribution. Please focus on those two terms. Go through the textbook, those two terms. Go to third point. Supplying necessary labor force, clear, to the industrial sector. Remember, Indian agriculture contributes for the industrialization by supplying necessary labor force, that is workforce, both skilled and unskilled workforce required. Maximum portion of industrial workers clear in India, they originate from the rural sector, or let us call from the village side or countryside, as there remains excess labor in Indian agriculture. In the previous slide, I was talking about surplus labor in agriculture that is absorbed in industrial sector, and it is also the source of cheap labor. Clear, to industrial sector, this reduces the cost of production. Next, creating necessary market for industrial goods. Remember, agriculture creates market for industrial goods. How? Remember, we have indicated that Indian agriculture, depending upon the performance, clear, provides a large market for various industrial products. Let us say industries produce various raw materials, various finished products like tractors, tillers or harvesters, etc. Agriculture purchases, thereby it creates market for such goods, that Simon Kuznets calls it as market contribution. Go to next. Providing a source of domestic capital for industrial development. That is, though the average income, per capita income in the rural sector, normally it remains low, but in spite of it, they have savings potential. Whatsoever small it may be, they have saving potential. But If that savings are mobilized in a proper channel, clear, it can be a source for domestic capital. It in turn promotes industrial growth. Next point, contributing to export earnings of some industries. We know that some of the important traditional export items of India, such as coffee, tea, jute products, cotton textiles, silk, etc. Remember, performance of these industries to a large extent it depends on agricultural output, and hence agriculture indirectly contributes for export earnings of these industries in India. That means it promotes foreign trade or international trade. Come to the next point, providing opportunities for entrepreneurial and administrative skills. See, this word entrepreneur is not new word for you. We have already discussed under the basic concepts. Clear? Observe this particular point carefully. Remember, a large part of trading, manufacturing activities in the industrial sector mainly centers around agriculture. It leads to a greater intersectoral transactions. Intersectoral means clear between the sectors. Intersectoral contribute transactions and provides opportunities for innovative entrepreneurs. So those entrepreneurs with innovative skills, they get opportunities in industrial areas, and thereby they develop new products or production processes for the use in Indian agriculture. Now we need to learn the other way around. When I say other way around, how industrialization complements agriculture development. That is, previously what we learned, how agriculture promotes industries, but now how industries promote agriculture development. Here we have only 3 points. Observe carefully. One, supplying various inputs for improvement in cultivation techniques. See, simple. If you analyze this statement carefully, you'll come to know that industries supply various machines required that which can be used in agriculture, like tractors, tillers, harvesters, and all those. Thereby, improvement in cultivation techniques are possible, and agriculture productivity also increases. And come to point number two, creating employment opportunities for rural poor or rural people. When I say employment opportunities, see, as you know, Indian agriculture, it can provide seasonal employment and also seasonal employment, underemployment. So, in order to overcome this, during non-agricultural seasons when the farmers do not have adequate job opportunities, industries provide clear a kind of additional supplementary employment opportunities to the rural poor or rural people, providing infrastructural facilities to agriculture sector. Remember, when I say infrastructural facilities, better railways, road and transport network, generation and distribution of electricity, etc. These actually are provided by industrial sector for the development of agriculture and rural areas. When we expand these infrastructural facilities, remember, it induces agriculture to produce more for the market, and thus marketable surplus of food crops also increase, and even distant markets become clear easily accessible because transport network improve. Here, whether far off place or the distant markets become easily accessible, and hence it helps the farmers to depend less on the middlemen or intermediaries. That means farmers can directly sell their products to the consumers in the far off towns and cities. However, as early as 1994, the government of India has introduced a new scheme called IID, that is Integrated Infrastructural Development. This was introduced mainly for the development of small scale industries in the rural areas. Such schemes will facilitate the location of industries in the backward and rural areas, thereby, it promotes the backward linkage between agriculture and industries. Thank you.